if you hear any playful fighting in the background. We got some pups on the loose. Maybe if you're finding yourself watching this in an environment that isn't your own, this extra confirmation for you. Or you've been indulging in this energy of like healthy competition. I think competition, if you find it motivating, it can be really helpful. If you're somebody who thrives off like gamifying life, to compete both with yourself and with others, in a way of knowing that like they're just other versions of yourself. Just like anything that can motivate you to fulfill what you feel like you're meant to fulfill is a positive thing. So you can utilize that healthy Mars energy to accomplish even your greatest creative feats. I'm getting that on this Scorpio New Moon though, what's really occurring is a profound up level or just acknowledgement of a new embodiment of emotional maturity. And this is both, you know what, actually I think this is coming from a deeper integration of the masculine and the feminine polarity within you, is allowing you to flourish in this energy of greater emotional maturity. Because to fully feel safe, to be creative, to be your full loving self, to embrace all of the emotions that come with the human experience, you have to feel like your nervous system is safe enough to do so. Because if you're operating in survival mode, your number one priority is not going to be creative, to feel whatever emotional energy has been coming up for you, not so that you can judge it or label it or hold on to it, but so it can dissipate and dissolve and you can move on to the next thing. Your number one priority isn't going to think, how can I give to others? How can I give to myself? How can I love myself? How can I love others? How can I connect to the divine? Those are things that can be focused on once you feel physically safe. And for that to happen, you have to have, for it to happen in a sovereign way, you have to have developed a certain potency of the yang energy, the masculine energy within, this force that protects you, that provides for you, that says no for you, that watches out for you, that makes sure you have what you need on a physical level. Oh my gosh, these dogs are really going wild. So thanks for sticking with me. If you are here, whenever a message wants to come out, I just have to do it right then and there, kind of regardless of whatever is happening. So I'm just never going to be the one to like wait for the perfect time to film, but I feel like this energy of like playful competition is relevant here. I was pulling cards about that yesterday, actually, that that is a really healthy part of us. And it's a healthy expression of the masculine energy within us, the healthy competition, utilizing that competition not to lift up our ego or shrink our ego in shame, but just use it as a motivator for action. Use it as inspiration. So I'm getting that this almost like divine union within is leading to the creative, intuitive, emotionally mature part of you to feel safe, to fully embody, express, intuit, and create. And that is the energy of the infinite Shakti, the infinite life force flowing through. And when that is flowing freely, you feel alive, you feel inspired, you feel connected to the divine, you feel the beauty and the ecstasy of this human life. That's what takes you to the heaven on earth space, the sovereign creator space. So a new level of that is being reached on the Scorpio New Moon. And I sense that, see, it's like the end of like being burnt out. The end of being burnt out. Because we'll start to feel burnt out and unsupported when we don't have those aspects of us balanced, because there's no one saying no and creating strategy and deciding what is worth it, what is intelligent to do, what is not to do. We're just taking on too much on our own. And then when we feel so overburdened, it can be hard to notice the good. We focus on the lack, not because there actually is lack, but because we are looking for all the reasons to feel what we already feel, which is this sense of like not feeling cared for, not feeling safe, not feeling protected, not feeling looked out for, feeling overlooked, feeling forgotten, feeling alone. And that comes from overburdening ourselves. And so with this increased integration of the protector, the provider energy in you for you, we're in a higher vibrational state. And it's from that state that we're able to see the cups that are full, see the abundance. So the Scorpio New Moon is clearing away so many of the shadows and showing us so many of the places where we have abandoned ourselves. And not only that, but I sense that it's not just seeing it and being like, oh my God, I need to change. I'm feeling this energy of like the embodiment of the one who takes control of being the protector of themselves. And then through that, knowing that it's their responsibility and prerogative to feel good enough so that they can show up to life, to themselves and to others in an emotional, creative, and intuitive way, in a way that's in alignment with their own soul. Like knowing that it's their duty to make that the baseline. Yeah, judgment. Yeah, it's literally, I think it's this recognition. There's probably some nudity here. Recognition of yourself as the one who is creating the circumstances from which you will either thrive or not thrive. And the judgment is a choice of sorts. It's, will we continue to victimize and give away our power, or will we reclaim it? Because nothing is ever anybody's fault. It's just always a choice. And there is always a choice. Let's see some blessings coming in on this new moon. Yep. New beginning is coming from this. Because when we excavate those old energies, the illusions of our lack of power, our lack of control, the places where we gave our power away, where we said yes when we really meant no, when we didn't think about, we didn't like plan how to protect and care for our being. Like our human self, our soul self is infinite and all powerful and untouchable, and our human self is like kind of a fragile little thing, you know. You could walk out onto the street, get run over by a car and perish. Not to be dramatic, but to be dramatic, because why not? Scorpio vibes. So, you know, we flirt with death. It's good to remember that death is just the other side of the coin to life. And when we realize that, you know, we're the ones in charge of not just making sure, obviously, that we stay alive, but that we thrive, and we clear and cleanse away all the spaces where we had unconsciously displaced that power, so much is clarified and so much more energy and truth can move through. And we're able to step out into this new way of being, this new beginning. And the Fool, it is not just the one who is stepping out into a new beginning out of complete naivete. They don't know what's to come, but they've gone through this hero's journey before, and they know the process, the alchemical process that it takes to move through the hero's journey of the tarot, through all of the major arcana. And that is almost what makes them the wisest one of all, is that they're like, I've done this before, and I'm still not going to stay in my old cycle. I'm still going to step out into the beginning of this new one. Even though I know that this is just the beginning, there's going to be so much to learn. There's going to be so much alchemy to occur. So much will be asked of me, and I will receive so much. And yet I still will step out onto this ledge again. I'm almost getting this energy of like, you know how sometimes, I think sometimes the most seemingly naive people are actually the most wise, and the ones who look at them as the most naive don't really realize that they're a very experienced, very old soul who is making the choice to begin again, who is making the choice to be new, who is making the choice to be honest, to be kind, to be lighthearted, to revel in the possibility of existence. It is the choice to not be hardened by the things that may have been disappointing in the past, because you can't control the spiral. You can know that no matter what, the spiral will spiral, but what you have the choice of is how good of a time you have walking that spiral. And the Fool, an open heart, looking up, gazing into the infinite abyss of all the unknown magic that lies before him, dare I say, might be the wisest one. And this is very much in alignment. This is, once you see clearly after so much battling, and the question arises, was that battle even necessary? And the Swords is that of the mind. And I think that's what's being realized now, is so much energy and effort has been put in to hold up facades that were actually like not necessary, or to hold up patterns that were actually illusions. And this new cycle is occurring because a liberation of energy and old patterns is occurring that is going to let you be so much more free. And that's the whole thing about, you know, they say when you get to the end of your human life, it's like dying is actually like waking up. This is so Scorpio coded that I'm talking so much about death, but they say that like dying is almost like waking up. And you're like, oh my God, how crazy is it that everything that seemed so real was actually nothing but a dream? And that's almost like this fight. It's like you're in the throes of the fight. Your nervous system is so hijacked by whatever patterns are controlling you, and it seems so real, but that's just because it's the animalistic reptilian animal side of us that is like so turned on and engaged. But the second the fight ends and everything calms and you're back in your parasympathetic state of your nervous system, you're like, oh my God, wait. What was the point of that fight in the first place? I'm seeing 7-7 on the time. It's like a spiritual sight being granted that allows patterns to be dissolved that may have been keeping you bound for ages, keeping you in lack. But all of this was just created by the mind, and we're getting a mental renewal. This makes so much sense because Scorpio is the subconscious, and a new moon is a reset. The subconscious is getting a reset. So these patterns that take energy to fight and to uphold are being released. Divine clarity is going to be coming through in the next few weeks. Lack mindsets dissolved, and the end of mental suffering. This is the 10 of Swords. It's the end of it. It's like you let the thoughts, like you let the thoughts, I actually don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. You let them be the end of you, and then a new you is born. And of course we would get the moon. And what I think is so fascinating about the moon is so many people talk about the moon being like illusion, the subconscious, which we're talking about. But the moon, the other flip side of the moon, is also intuition, feminine wisdom. And yeah, the other polarity is confusion, subconscious, like just being lost in the realms of the subconscious. But with the subconscious clearing, this is the birth of a new acceptance of your intuition. And I think this is gonna propel you forward so quickly with like the conviction of this new truth and this new clarity that you've obtained. A new you being born through this moon. It's a really potent one. A new passion. These knights and the Fool and the Ace of Swords, it's like a lot of forward momentum that is happening after this death and rebirth. Sometimes the deepest alchemy, it's like if you really just let it happen, what happens on the other side of it is like the most quick moving magic that you've ever seen, because you let yourself have that moment you let the depths take you. And then what gets cleared away, like, puts you in a state that is able to be carried with so much momentum forward that never would have happened had you just resisted the point in which life, the divine, your higher self was like trying to work you, trying to wring it all out. And then we have the third night. So you'll be moving forward with conviction, with clarity, with passion, but also with an open heart. You're not denying the elements anymore. It's a new beginning in many ways. A new sense of love for yourself, and also I sense a new appreciation for life itself, for the divine, for the love that is accessible in all moments. When you stop and you remember it, and even you just breathe, you breathe in this infinite source of life all around you. And let's end here. I want you to know that joy was always here, just like the sun is always here behind the clouds. It's still shining. But your awareness of it after this clearing of the shadows is going to be more tangible, more real to you than ever. Expect to feel a sense of invigoration, like an invigorating essence of childlike excitement, wonder, and inspiration around your life again, while you have the maturity that you've gained throughout this journey. You have the maturity of the Queen of Cups that we began with, who's been through so much, who has integrated so much, who has learned to protect, to love, to care for herself, and who has dissolved the shadows of illusion, who has walked through the shadows of death, And with that maturity, your young spirit, the eternal child within, is able to finally be seen and direct your life in the way that it was always actually meant to. This energy will be directing your life, but with the discernment of the part of you that has gained so much wisdom throughout your time here. And this is actually the integration that's about to change your entire life, bring you so many blessings. Because this is the magic of being human and being divine. And this is what so many beings envy that you have the chance to experience. So make the most of it. Offer your heart to the world. We need it. We need you. So however that looks, through your art, through your love, through your devotion, through your creativity, through your compassion, whatever it is, it's gonna bring you your own abundance. It's gonna bring you your own legacy. It's gonna bring you your own power and your ability to continue to provide for yourself, continue to provide yourself that physical security and luxury, so that the emotional, enlivened, ever joyous inner child within can keep doing what it's meant to do, which is bring its magic, because it feels safe enough and provided enough to do so. Good work, my friend. Really good work. Whether you're watching this on the new moon or any time after, this alchemical process has occurred. And you're moving forward now, and you're gonna make the most of all of it. Yeah, this is the message. Just no matter what, keep moving forward. Siren confirmation. Even if you have to slow, never stop.